I mean, no, but the best part about this was we were talking about, but by the way, welcome to IDD for those who know I don't disagree. That is the redoubtable one, Thomas Jazo, back for another slug him down, suck him back. Slug him down into a sip him slow. Slug him down sad into a sip him slow.
It's almost like you just go slug him slow.
Slug him slow.
Which is
Can you do
it's an
that?
oxymoron.
Can you actually slug it slow? I don't know if that's possible.
Slug him slow. It's an oxymoron. You can't.
Oh.
It's not real.
Kind of fits in with I don't disagree.
That it does.
I'm just saying.
We were talking about greatest gifts of all time, and I'm actually part of two greatest gifts of all time. My Blackstone, which was one of my greatest gifts, and we're talking about material gifts. We're not talking about gifts of talent or gifts of life.
We're not obviously comparing this to our women and our kids.
Exactly.
So don't go there with it.
Right, so just shut up
Just
now.
talking material.
Look at it. But a Blackstone grill and about a 21-inch bong are two of the most giving gifts of all time.
And when you think about the synergy of these two gifts, because if you have a big pipey, what are you going to want to do right after? You're going to want to throw something on that thing.
No, but here's the amazing
something
thing.
greasy
Here's
and
the amazing
We've
thing.
never done
We've
that.
almost never taken advantage of the two of them at the same time.
See, we have to remedy this. And you know what? We have to do it on this show on a Saturday night.
See, here's why we haven't done that.
Why?
I don't like cooking when I'm altered. It's too much It's not easy. It's too much multitasking.
We could do something simple.
Like what?
Bacon.
Just eat bacon.
Bacon. Yes.
We're like be on the show just eating fucking
Just a
strips
pile
of
of
bacon.
bacon right in front of us.
Yeah. Just die of heart attack.
That would be awesome.
Die
though.
of heart attacks on
Can
air.
you imagine? Like, oh my, these clowns, they were drinking this it was a plate of bacon. They were eating bacon. And they kept saying, if you were stoned, you'd understand. Like, although with bacon, you don't have to be stoned to appreciate the succulence of bacon. I don't think there's a male, unless it's a vegetarian. There isn't a carnivore that would have a bad thing to say about bacon. I would go that far. Yeah.
There isn't a carny?
Herbivore, of course, but no carnivore is ever questioning bacon. The only question they have is, do you got more? That's their only question.
Well, they could also have the question, are you guys going to talk about sports tonight?
We are.
Are we going to talk about gifts
Well,
and bacon?
we agree on that, though.
Oh, of course.
Okay, so it's pipey and the, what do you call it?
The Blackstone.
The Blackstone. I love that, the Blackstone.
It's a grill, but it's a flat top.
No, but I love it.
So-
It's the Blackstone. That's perfect. The Blackstone's a badass motherfucker. The Blackstone. Get the Blackstone.
Wasn't there a reporter on ESPN?
I'm through fucking around. Get the Blackstone.
Was it Kevin Blackstone?
I was Blackest Stone.
Blackestone, not Blackstone. Was it Kevin now?
Anyway, IDD feels no, I don't disagree.
Where are we
Thomas J.
starting
is
now?
a highly question one. I'm highly question one. I'm highly question one. He is the redoubtable one. Where are we starting? Well, we're starting. We look at college football today, and it's still going on. Some great games, some Donnies. We got one that we're looking at right now. Number 19 undefeated Illinois. Number 9 Penn State. That's a 14-7 game in the third. There were games coming on late night. Upsets. Kentucky knocked off number 6 Ole Miss today. That was a big one.
Wildcats. And speaking of Wildcats,
Yes.
2 Wildcats were just traded for each other in the NBA.
Yes, that is true.
A major thing weighing on my heart.
Which we are going to talk about.
I
didn't know if I wanted to give it its own segment because I really feel we have to help Tom with this because he's got a conundrum on his, and I get it. It's a valid one.
I mean, it's more pressing than college football.
It is right now, which is why we should. Maybe I guess we'll make it our first segment. I don't know because
It is.
All right, it is. So there you have it. So the New York Knicks, for those of you living on the moon, traded Julius Randle and DiVincenzo now
And a 2025 first rounder.
for the, I don't know what you call him.
The cat.
The ultimate
Stretch
pussy,
four.
The ultimate pussycat. Karl-Anthony Towns. He has that cat-like talent, but then again,
You
he's
think
still
he's
a
the
cat.
ultimate pussycat?
Because he has the cat-like athletic potential, but then again, he's a cat. So it's like, oh yeah, it's like such a waste. And now he's a Knick. And here's the thing though. On paper, why they did it makes sense because they don't have an offensive big to match that of Boston and Philadelphia. They knew it was a hole, or Milwaukee for that matter. They knew it was a hole, and they knew they had to address it somehow.
But the weird part is, okay, is that up to this point, the team and the talent that they had been bringing in
Loved what they were doing.
all
Loved
fit
it.
a certain mold,
Yeah.
character-wise, and like style-wise.
See,
you
here's-
know?
Yep.
And then they go and get him, and again, like you said, paper-wise,
I
mean,
said paper-wise.
right?
But
He's the five they were looking for.
Hey, but
he doesn't fit.
but here's
their,
my question.
their culture.
And this is what I want. This is the answer I want. I want you to think about this one because this is to me this is the $1 million question, and nobody's asked it today, but I'm going to ask it. I'm not opposed to this move. However, to me, it came a year early because you had to take this Ferrari out for a spin and see what it did before you decide. Because you ultimately don't know what all these additions would have meant. I know they were the number 2 seed in the East. They were going to, them and Boston meet tomorrow. That's going at least 6 if they're both teams are full. That's what I was thinking. So let that play out and see what happens. Maybe you win.
You're saying without a center?
with the don't make this trade yet.
With Mitchell Robinson down for the first 2 months
Yeah,
of the season.
stay with this group and just see what
They
happens.
didn't have a center.
You can pull. You can always find a big man.
Okay. So you're saying
There-
just
Get somebody
Off
off
the
the.
street,
Everybody,
baby.
we got a D squad in the main league. The Knicks have got a D squad. Pull that guy off there and a project, and he's got enough talent around him. Look at the talent around
So
this
what's
kid.
the question that's being asked?
Would you have preferred? I really all Knicks fans. Would you have preferred? Because again, I'm not opposed to the trade. I just would have liked to see this group go up for a spin
right,
first
but
and
you
see
said
what it
that
is.
the question that hasn't been asked is what?
Is this the right? Is this what should have happened? Do you agree with this? The trade should have happened because you should have seen what this group was capable of first. Is that fair to say? Is that a fair criticism? I think it is.
I mean,
I wanted to see it. Look, on paper they were the 2 seed dogs, but again, that's on paper. What if they beat them with that group? Because I think they are capable of beating them. And if or something, all right, say this happens. Say they don't get injured, but
I don't
they
know,
get knocked out early. Then you make that trade.
after they get knocked out?
If they get knocked out early, then you know you got to make that trade. You make it the next offseason. But if they take Boston to 7,
They don't want to take Boston to 7. They
no,
want to
but
beat Boston.
they can. If you take the team to 7, that means you can beat them. Maybe they beat them the next year. Yeah, I don't know. But what if they do that? Obviously, if they win out, then you're like, well, see, they became a champion. They didn't need to
I
make
don't know. I
that.
think they might be better right now.
On paper, they're better. But the problem with on paper is then we have to talk about the Pussycat,
Right, but
who
I
on
think that-
paper
okay.
meets the numbers statistically that they need. But up here, mentally, that's not his MO.
But here's my thing. Could it be a situation where their culture can impact Karl Anthony Towns in a positive way?
Of course it could.
Because I think that goes both ways. You can be in a situation that makes you, go small mentally, or you could be in a situation that helps you elevate and like actually reach your potential and reach your toughness and get rid of all the dumb shit.
Yeah.
Right?
But yeah, possibly, sure. Absolutely.
Because I don't know, the way the Knicks were constructed, it would have been interesting to see Mikal Bridges, Jalen Brunson, and Julius Randle on the same court. But man, I'm trying to think how that would have worked. I don't know if it would have.
I don't either, but I would love to have seen it.
Yeah.
I would have loved to have
can,
seen it.
I can agree with
because
that.
I think that it could have worked. I don't know what, but I wanted to find out. It's like that movie where you don't know the ending. You want to see the fucking
Well,
ending.
I guess at the very least you could have waited till the All-Star break.
Well, no, but I'm saying if that team, the reason, now remember now, before they got banged up last year, they were the best team for the best month of like January, and they got hurt.
Yeah.
So they were right there, and then the injuries happened. We never got to find out what that team was.
Yeah, but I mean, I think what this tells me is that
They're not standing pat.
right. What this tells me is that
They're going for it.
they saw an opportunity and they didn't go, well, I wonder what this team will do. Maybe we should look at it. They said, actually, if we make this move, I think we're better. Regardless, let's make the move. Which I can respect that. You know what I'm saying? So,
Okay.
look, when the trade first happened, I immediately said, you just traded 2 dogs
See,
for a bitch.
Here's the problem.
Okay, hold on.
Okay.
So that was my emotional reaction.
Yes.
Which I don't know is completely fair to Karl Anthony Towns. I mean, but that's how I felt. I was like, damn it, you got rid of 2 guys that fit our culture, that fit our toughness, and you got back a guy that's not like that. But then I started thinking about how the offense would actually flow the way it wouldn't flow. It never did flow. They never had a big man that could do anything with the ball. Hartenstein would give him a little something.
He could pass.
He could pass, but he couldn't go down to the block. He had to facilitate from up top. And if Cates...
Yeah, he had a mid-range jump shot, but he didn't have a post game.
Now, here's the thing about Karl Anthony Towns. He doesn't really do that either.
It's not because he can't do it. When he goes, by the way, whenever he does go down in the post,
he does well.
He generally dominates.
He did that in the playoffs, and he got in trouble when he started chucking threes.
Yeah, when he went back, and that's when they got back in the series.
Can Tibbs and Brunson and that team help him understand, look, this is not about your individual stats. If you play this role on this team, we could be a contender.
And you'll get stats anyway.
Right. You'll be fine. You'll actually be more valuable.
Yep, you're right.
Because you'll be part of a winner, potentially. I mean, even if you don't win the championship, it could be a winner.
But here's the question that I'm wondering if the Knicks thought about this or thought this through, or they just saw an opportunity. Because here's my thing. Here's my one pushback on this from the Knicks end of it. The Minnesota Timberwolves just knocked off the defending world champs. Okay? And he was a big reason why. They run into Dallas. He wasn't the reason they lost to Dallas per se. They match up with Dallas. But I mean...
But he had a couple games where they benched him.
But I'm saying he's young though. If you're the Knicks, why are they eager to give this guy up? Do they see a character flaw in him?
Maybe.
Because if I'm the Knicks, I'm wondering why are you willing to part with him? He's one of your best 2 or 3 best players, and they were
maybe Anthony Edwards doesn't like him.
I'm saying
they always seem to get along.
I thought they did. I'm saying there's something else to this. From the Minnesota end, why were they willing to part with this guy? Something about
what they got back.
Something about him that told us he's not good enough to get us there. He's not
he's not the right fit to get us there. I think that's a different thing. Saying he's not good enough to get us there, and his game doesn't fit to get us there.
It's not his game; it's his mentality. If he when he plays the game the right way, it fits like a motherfucker.
I hope you're not. I hope you're wrong, but I think you got a good point.
I'm just saying, if I'm the one thing about the Knicks, the one question I'd be asking ourselves is, well, wait, why are they willing to part with him? He's a really good player. He's young. His prime years are ahead of him, technically. And they were just in the conference finals. They're knocking on the doorstep. Why would they be willing to part with him? That's a question you got to ask. Mm-hmm. And I'm not saying that there isn't. I don't know. It could be so simple as, and this is valid too, and I thought this is the first thing I thought of. The matchup, if they get Randall and the other kid, DiVincenzo, they actually match up better with Dallas, with that lineup.
Right, the fit. The fit is better.
Yeah, it fits better with them.
That's why
but the problem is they're still going to have to run into Boston.
Oh, yeah, they're not beating Boston.
But they have a better chance with a big man?
You mean with Karl Anthony Towns?
The Minnesota would.
Yeah, but they still wouldn't. Right?
No, because Porzingis is better than him. But I mean
if Porzingis is playing.
Well, he's supposed to miss the first month, but Brad Stevens once again has quietly made a couple of moves that have shored up. They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine. I'm less worried now, as I said on Wednesday night, because of what Steve Kerr's idiocy. So what Al Horford said, I think it was Thursday. I saw the interview. What he said was probably one of the greatest things I've ever heard come out of an athlete's mouth. Well, he actually said we. Because they asked him about his opinion about what happened to Tatum and Brown this summer. Mm-hmm. He goes, well, we. He didn't say we. Watched Jalen get snubbed. And no one was mad at Derek, and everybody knew Derek was deserving. But the fact is, Jalen Brown should have been on that team from the jump. He should have been. After he wins Finals MVP, he should have been on that team originally. Okay, before Kawhi Leonard.
Yeah, that's a joke.
He's a better player than Kawhi Leonard. Okay,
better player than the whole team.
Yeah, I'm just saying. So that's the first issue. Then Tatum gets treated like he's Draymond Green. Like, what the fuck? Like, he's Draymond Green and I'm the coach. That's how he got treated. What I would do to Draymond Green if I was coaching him. Okay? Because honestly, but anyway, it's another story. The point is this. Jason Tatum is the last person that deserved that. Okay? And Al Horford
didn't play him in a whole game.
2 whole games.
That's embarrassing.
As I said on Wednesday night.
That's an embarrassment.
As I said on Wednesday night, for the last, think about this. Not this year. He made All-NBA first team the last 3 years in a row. Coming off the Olympic gold medal when him and what's his name, Durant were the 2 best players on that team, and they won the gold. So he went from that to those 3 years of All-NBA first team next. Then now he wins the World Championship. He's the best player on the roster. He's the only guy that made All-NBA first team. And he didn't play in 2 games. He can play 4 fucking positions on offense and defense, and he didn't play in 2 games. And your answer for that is numbers?
Well, we like the matchup with Anthony Edwards a little better. Okay.
I got to tell you something. Steve Kerr, you're either the dumbest human being, you're Matt Patricia, or you're a lying motherfucker.
You're Bill Belichick.
And by the way, you're not as dumb as Matt Patricia.
That wouldn't be Matt Patricia. That would be Belichickian. Because you think you're so goddamn smart to do that.
Here's why they did this, and I said it on Wednesday night, but I'll say it again because you weren't here. This went above Steve Kerr. They wanted this generation's Larry, Magic, and Michael, and LeBron, Steph, and Katie. That is what they wanted to showcase. That is exactly what they want to do. They will never fucking admit it, but look at what happened to Jason Tatum. That's exactly why you do it. That's the only reason you do something like
awful.
that. It's awfully true. It's
awful.
true. It's fucking true, and everybody knows it. Think about it. They wanted those 3 to get there, and that's why those games are so fucking close, because they're fucking old, they're fat, they're just offensive players. For them, they are. They're offensive players.
Steph Curry's fat.
They're offensive players, and if their shooting is off, you can beat them, because they don't play any fucking defense. I mean, give me a break. That's why they added freaking what's his nuts, Derek White, because him and Holiday, they had 2 defensive guys in the perimeter when these guys fucked off and fucked around and didn't do anything. That game that Steph Curry went off when he scored 36, he gave up 35. Do you realize that? He gave up 35 points in that fucking game.
You mean the Steph Curry game?
Yeah. He gave up 35 in that game.
He was responsible for 70 points.
71. 36 of ours and 35 of theirs. And no one talked about that, how he was getting burned on defense. What a stooge.
Not him.
Oh.
I'm talking about James Franklin. Not to be confused with Ben Franklin.
Anyway.
Or Kirk Franklin.
So the reality is this. Al Horford is sitting there at the podium going, we are still pissed. We are still pissed at the way Jalen and Jason got treated this summer. Everybody on the team's pissed. If you're a fan of the Boston Celtics, you probably shed a tear of joy when you heard him say that. Because we've been through, we know what...
Did you?
Huh?
Did you shed a tear of joy?
Yes, I did. Yes, I did. And I didn't see it live.
Legitimate tear?
Legitimate tear of joy. Beautiful.
That's fake. I don't believe you.
I don't care if you... Oh, wow. This just in. Tom doesn't believe me. What a fucking surprise there. Wow. Splitting the atom again tonight, ain't you, Izzo? Wow. Woo. Woo. Groundbreaking. Tom doesn't agree or believe me.
I usually believe you.
You never believe me.
Fuck out of here.
And then I got to look it up. Oh.
I don't believe you right now. We're talking about something you said.
I shed a tear of joy when Al Horford said
I don't believe that a real tear came out of your eye.
I did. It was like a little...
What a liar.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Because when your team wins a championship, it's so hard to repeat as this. And every fan who's had a team win a championship always worries about the next year letdown because you want to do it again. It's so hard to do in every sport.
I didn't worry about that. I got my championship, baby. You want to let down this year? I get it.
See, by the way, I do believe him because this clown was saying to me today on the soccer field how he wishes the soccer games would be closer instead of the blowouts are dynastic. By the way, we got to talk about them.
That's a different mentality.
I can't. That's like what there was times when that team was getting crushed by in seed scores where they turned off the scoreboard. It was so bad. Okay, they just stopped keeping score. It got so bad, and now they're finally doing this on the other end. And by the way,
dude, I like seeing them play a tough game against a tough team and beating that. Dude, it's great to see the beatdown, but you could have ended that game at halftime. I didn't want to stay and watch the second half.
The thing that no one's talking about,
now you on the radio, on the TV,
is the Stinger defense.
Yeah.
Which hasn't yielded a single goal in 4 fucking games now. I don't care what level you're at. That's fucking impressive.
Okay, but
you have to admit that's fucking impressive.
I mean,
I don't care what level you're playing at. When you don't allow a team to score for 4 games.
How many times does the ball come down on their side of the field?
Because their defense is awesome.
No, because the offense has the ball the whole time.
Let me read you the back line. The back line of this defense starts with Penn Dog, Penny Izzo. Fucking pit bull. She's got the face of an angel and the fucking of a pit bull. She's like she's sweet assassin. That one, sweet assassin. Then
that's my girl.
Then you got Vicious Vic.
Oh, she is vicious.
I don't know how many times you can say this in one game, but they did it last week. Vicious Vic hit the deck 4 times. This is
has no qualms.
This is girl soccer, and she's
no
doing
qualms
it.
going
Vicious
down.
Vic. Then you got Kid Ray. Reliant Kid Ray. There are 2 things: death taxes and Kid Ray on the backside. Okay, that's what she is. If something's going on, Kid Ray is going to bust that shit up. She's going to come from left field, doesn't matter, and bust it. Kid Ray is fucking, she's that dude. She's Rodney Harrison. She's Ronnie Lott. She's like one of those dudes. She's Palomalo, one of those guys. So that's her. Then, in front of them, you have Legacy Layla, who can play anywhere on this field. And while she's playing, she can get you a burger at the stand. She can park your car for you, paint your fence, and walk your dog.
Affectionately known as Messi.
No, it's Legacy Layla.
It's Messi.
Legacy.
The minute I saw her kick a soccer ball, I said, that's Messi.
You know how many kids have been named Messi that are good in soccer? All of them. Layla would prefer, like most females, originality. Oh, wow, you named me after Messi. How creative. How long did you think about that one, Thomas?
Very quickly.
About 5 seconds?
Yes.
Yeah. Thanks.
That's how looks like Messi.
That's how girls think.
She looks like Messi.
You give them their own name and you say there's never been a Legacy Layla until now. That's way better than, oh, Messi.
Okay, God, Jesus Christ. You're going to blow yourself over a fucking nickname you gave a little kid at a soccer game? Jesus.
You are Messi.
Go
Messi.
in the bathroom and fuck yourself in the ass.
There's Messi again. Messi.
You've never come up with a nickname like this.
I can't because you haven't cleaned up your mess yet in there.
You know what they call me? Listen to this nickname I gave this kid at a soccer game. Yeah, you want to hang your hat on something?
Hey, sticks on. It wasn't more than one. Will's Wilhelm. Oh, we got them all. We named the whole team. It wasn't one. It was like 19 of them. Although, you know who we don't have a name for?
Who?
Emery. We have a name for her. She's good.
I call her Ronaldo.
What a fucking surprise, America. This guy is, we talk about
Messi and Ronaldo.
When we talk about deep thinkers, there's deep thinkers. And then there's Mr. Mariana Trench over here. Fucking deep, the deepest of the deep.
Oh, we'll call you the fucking upside down abyss of
Mr.
nature.
Mariana Trench.
Okay, Mr. Deep Thinker over here. Let me tell you the touching birthday gift he got me. Mr. Deep Thinker, a cutoff shirt that says I flexed and the sleeves fell off, and a note that says, think of it as motivation. What a douche. Deep Thinker?
I thought it was deep.
Oh, it was so deep.
You know why? Because one day he's going to be able to put a shirt on and he's going to flex those fucking things are going to come off like fucking nothing.
Yeah.
You're going to remember that. And you know what he's going to do? Look in the mirror. He's going to shed one tear of joy.
No, I'm going to come back on this show and say, RJ, it was all because of you.
It was all because of you, man.
It was that shirt,
That hidden.
that deep thought.
That was not for public knowledge. That was just between me and you.
What?
That was supposed to be a little, you're going to do this, man. I'm with you. I'm backing you. You got this. Motivation.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I meant it that way, but of course he took it the wrong way.
Jesus Christ.
What a fucking surprise.
Deep, right to the heart. Right.
Thanks a lot, jack off.
I flexed and the sleeves fell off.
One day. One day it's going to happen.
Yes.
I'm telling you. I have faith in the man. I'm just saying I have faith. That's all.
You gotta have faith.
You gotta have faith. So, anyway, back to this. So you like this trade. Having thought about it, having put it through the ringer,
I mean, it's hard
weighed
to
the pros and cons.
It's hard to say I like anything at this point.
Well,
right
do you
now.
think, well, here's the question.
With what the Mets are doing to me right now,
Do you think Tibbs can get to this guy?
Giants, I don't like anything right now.
Do you think Tibbs can get to this guy, though?
I don't fucking know. How the hell would I know? I already asked that question. I said, could the culture impact him?
I think it could.
I don't know.
Because you know what? I think that's like the Celtics is a likable locker room. There's a lot of good dudes on this team.
Yeah.
And they usually when you surround yourself, you kind of more or blend in with that crowd, become like them. You don't make them adjust to you. You don't. Not that kind of crowd. That's the kind of crowd you want to be around.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like he didn't do well with Jimmy Butler. I don't see any Jimmy Butlers on the Knicks.
That's fair.
Right?
Yep, I agree.
Jimmy Butler's a different kind of guy.
Yeah, he is.
He's more kind of like a Kobe type asshole, right?
He's nowhere near Kobe.
I'm not saying he's as good as Kobe, but he's that kind
Is he an asshole?
Like he's that kind of competitor.
I
right?
mean, he can be. I have no problem with the man's competitiveness. That's a good thing. That's kind of how you want. But
isn't that what Jimmy Butler's like? And I think that's why him and
the only problem I have with Jimmy Butler is I think he has that competitive streak in him. He just there are times when he says stuff. It's like, dude, shut up. Just shut up. Like
what?
Shut the fuck up.
What's
Just like if the Celtics when the Celtics were bending over Miami, he's like, yeah, well, if I was there, that would be the other way around. And we're like, really? Last year it went 7.
Was that when he was like out somewhere?
Yeah. And Pat Riley told him to shut the fuck up. Pat Riley knew right away, like, what are you doing, dumbass?
I remember that.
First of all, you're not there, and when you were there, they swept us. So what are you talking about? Like, it would make a difference? I love Pat Riley. That's why I always love Pat Riley. It's like, because he tells it like it is. You know,
yeah,
and
that was funny.
It was true. It was like, well, really? Well, how come when you were there, they swept us during the regular season too? What the fuck are you talking about? You were there then. So yeah. So and Pat Riley's 100% right. So he put him in his place, and kudos to Pat Riley for that. You know, but Pat Riley knows something, a thing or two about dynasties with the Lakers and Magic and Kareem. He's seen greatness. So you can't be when you've coached Magic and Kareem, 2 of the 6 greatest players that have ever lived. Uh-oh.
Oh, that's a block in the back for no reason.
They throw the flag?
I don't know.
Penn State.
They
did throw the flag. Oh, man.
Why do you do that?
I don't know. Stupid.
The guy was 7 yards behind the ball carrier.
I don't know why. Penn State should have had a touchdown, but it's coming back. They are currently with
block in the back.
Yeah,
they still have the ball though.
They do, but the game would have basically been over.
Are they in field goal range?
I don't know. I don't know whether the penalty occurred. It goes.
Dude, I hate the way they smack the guys in the head as they come off.
I mean, where is this? Why he throws it right at him? Right here, this donkey. What are you doing? You donkey.
For nothing.
What a donkey. Number 7. Dolomite's Donkey of the Week award right there. Fucking terrible.
What else is on? This game's over.
This game's over. Fuck this game. It's over.
Dude, I can't believe the fucking Mets are blowing it right now.
And that's the other thing going on. The Mets are getting bent over.
That's what this whole thing is about.
He's very irritated, and I get why, because it's a big weekend for them, and they're blowing it. They're blowing it. It's bad, and he has every right to be upset with them because this is when you got to man up. This is a good game, Arizona, Utah.
Well, the thing that pisses me off is that the Mets have been the best team in baseball for fucking 100 games. And now, what the fuck? Why do all that to not show up the last 4 or 5 games?
You're right there, too.
Come on.
Yeah.
You're fucking better than that.
It's a fair question. And they put themselves in a position to be able to do this.
Yeah.
And now they're
They
blowing
worked
it.
their asses off.
Now they're blowing it. It's like...
I mean, is that just the way the fucking cookie crumbles sometimes? Or are they truly not showing up? What do you think? That's the question I ask myself because, look, as I look at these pro athletes, I look at the game they play, I could never do what they do, you know? So it's real fucking shitty to be like, oh, they're not showing up. But it feels like that. It feels like something's holding them back because I've seen them do it. Like, sure, of course I couldn't do it.
They don't strike me as the type of team, meaning based on the characters that are in that locker room.
Based on the bounce back they had all year.
Yeah, but I'm saying they don't strike me as having the type of team that you could see this happening to. That's what's so shocking about it. There are teams I could see, like San Diego. I could see San Diego doing this. There are teams I could see doing this. The makeup of this team, this is what's so shocking. Now it's not over yet, but I mean they could win tomorrow. This isn't over. But
here's the thing. I mean,
right now,
but this did happen to some of the core members of this team last time, 2 years ago. You know, they folded in September.
They just wet themselves.
But that's what I'm wondering. Are they wetting themselves, or it's just like baseball's a hard game and sometimes this shit happens? Like what? You know, like. Let me see if the Diamondbacks won. If the Diamondbacks won, I'm going to lose it. Because that means they're out of the wild card. Oh, the Padres are winning 3-0.
What inning?
Yes!
What inning?
In the 9th.
Okay. See, it's never...
So the Mets are going to be tied for the 3rd wild card going into the final supposed day of the season, even though there's 2 more games to be played on Monday, both of which the Mets are playing in.
Yes.
Okay, so you can win tomorrow.
Win all three.
No, that would be the way.
That's
That would
been
be
their
the way.
MO all season. When something like this happens, they've always bounced back. Just saying. I don't know if that's going to happen, but that's been their track record.
It's a bad time to lose 3 in a row.
There's never a good time to lose 3 in a row.
Well, yeah, there is May. There's a great time to lose 3 in a row. April, June, July, August. I don't give a fuck. Not September 26th. No.
There's always a good time to lose 3 in a row, just not September 26th.
Well, I'm saying, when you got 100 games left, who gives a fuck? You know? I mean, they were 11 games under 500.
Was it you who said this? Maybe it was you. Some guy put it this way. This is how.
Some guy.
This is how. It might have been you. I don't know. Somebody said.
This is going to be a lie.
No. When you hear it, you're gonna trust me. You've either heard of it or it was you who said it.
Okay.
Because you're a baseball guy. This is a baseball line. So the guy says, look, everybody who plays this game knows in a 162 game schedule, there's 55 games you're going to win and 55 games you're going to lose. Now, what are you going to do with that other 55?
I never said that.
Okay. But I said either you've said it or you've heard of it.
Okay.
I don't know who said it, but I'm saying it makes sense. It does, because
Right, but
baseball is
what's the
such a long
context
season.
now?
Well, I'm saying you could, to your point, you could lose 3 in a row because you're going to lose 55 games somewhere along the line anyway. That's
Oh,
guaranteed.
multiple times,
Yeah.
probably.
So you can do it and survive it. Unless
Unless it's the last week of the season.
Unless I was very into unless.
Well, when it's the last week of the season, you might not be able to.
And yet, if the Diamondbacks do in fact lose tonight, they will have gotten away with this.
That's right. Well, they haven't gotten away with it until they're in.
But they're still alive. It didn't.
That's right.
It didn't
They
kill
are,
them.
yes.
It didn't kill them.
Yes, they're still on life support.
So technically, you can always. There can be 3 games left in the season, but you lost 3. You still have 3 more.
Well, they're not. There is still 3 more games.
I'm saying.
Typically, the last week you can't lose 3 in a row.
so-
They're lucky they have this double header.
And yet, here we are. It happened. Now, here's the question. Did this happen because this is the fucking Mets and the Mets do shit like this?
Feels like it.
I don't know.
Well,
I
because
don't know. Could
2
be.
years ago in 2022, now this was different because they were leading the division all year.
Yeah.
The Braves played like 700 baseball.
Was that a nosedive?
It was.
Yeah, I think it was a nosedive.
Starling Marte got hurt in September, and then they just went.
The plane, they lost the right engine, and that was it.
So they went into Atlanta. It was just like this year. They went into Atlanta with 6 games left. Now this time all they had to do was win 1 game against Atlanta.
Yeah.
They had Scherzer, DeGrom, and Bassett. They're 1, 2, 3 going
They
in.
had their top 3.
And they pooped everywhere.
All 3 of them wet themselves. No, shit themselves.
Oh, it was a major shitting.
It
This was
wasn't-
not a wedding.
This wasn't a clean one.
No.
This was Diarrhea Jones and the Day
Yeah.
for Doom type shit.
Well, mixed in with major logs, too.
Oh yeah.
It
This-
was
you could throw Dumb and Dumber in there
every
too.
type of shit.
This could be Dumb and Dumber on the yeah. Remember?
So,
and then the toilet was broken.
They get
Remember that
waxed
shit?
by Atlanta. All they needed was 1 game, and they end up in the first wild card. Okay? This is
It's bad, but
this is bad.
and yet they're tied with 3 games to go.
So they have to take the final game in Milwaukee, and then they imagine if they need to win both games against Atlanta. I mean,
Well, given they lost all 3, maybe this is the reversal where they win them both.
tough to beat Atlanta 2 in a row, especially because they're going to get Sale.
It's tough to lose 3 in a row when you got 3 of the pitches you named
I
too.
think
but
they're
it
gonna
fucking
get
happened, didn't
Sale.
it? Didn't it, Bullwinkle?
What?
It's tough to lose 3 in a row when you got the 3 starters that you just named going in a row last year, but you did, didn't you, Bullwinkle?
Well, the Mets found a way.
They found a way. So if that can happen,
No, what the Mets can find a way to do is not what everybody can find a way to do. Okay, just because the Mets can find a way to do it doesn't mean the Braves can
now,
find a way to do it.
here's how valid that point is. Until was it yesterday? Friday. Yesterday, Friday. The Mets held a record that no one on this earth would want to hold. They had lost the most games in a season since 1900. That's 124 years ago. So in 124 baseball seasons, as I heard, the New York Mets had the worst season ever by a team. Until
The White Sox.
the White Sox.
The 2024 White Sox.
So when he says that the Mets do things that very few teams are capable of doing, that record proves he's not wrong.
Well,
So yeah,
I mean, and the Mets have only been around since 1962.
they've missed half of that, and yet they've still outdone.
I mean, part of that is what being an expansion team.
I mean, that is the very
makes you.
definition of I don't disagree.
I mean, that was when they were an expansion team.
I know, but that's the thing. They weren't around for 62
Like,
of those
for the
seasons.
White Sox to do it, the White Sox have been around for how many years? I mean, they're one of the originals.
Originals, I think, yeah.
Right?
The Mets aren't.
No.
That's what makes the Mets thing so much more incredible. Because there were 62 seasons they didn't even participate in. And
Oh,
yet, and yet they had.
No, but they were an expansion team. It happened that first year. It's worse for the White Sox when they're like in their fucking 100th year.
There's a way to
This
cel-
established of a.
There's a way to celebrate a centennial.
I mean, I don't know what year they're in. Giants are celebrating their 100th year with a bunch of sloppy dog shit of games. Hey, Brian Dable.
That's segment 2.
Since
That's
we're
segment
jumping
2.
all over the place.
Segment 2. Let's break here. Let's break here and,
Okay.
and back. Segment 2. We're going to talk about Mr. Dayball because we need to talk about what happened tonight. Segment 2 and our picks. All right. And by the way, Giggle Smoke is showing up tonight. Oh yeah.
Vanilla Dable.
Yep. Giggle Smoke. And by the way, Giggle Smoke's pick last week, he was right. Talk about it. Segment 2.
Who'd you
coming up.
pick? Panthers?